Okay, hi. So now we are going to do a hands-on, of creating this Python script. Yeah, this is a Python script, and this Python script uses Pandas, the library. Okay, so we have the Python script that is using Pandas. Okay, so this code is Python. Yeah, it's a Python code, and then we are going to write this on our own. Okay, so some of you might, and then what we want to, sorry, and then what we want to do is that we want to print the output. Okay, so I will execute this script one more time. My output is gone. Yeah, so I'm executing this script. I executed this script by clicking on the play button here. Yeah, so now we can see the output again here. Yeah, all right, so we want you to be able to load this data and print this data successfully. So in order to do this, you need to use Visual Studio Code. Okay, there are many other code editors, but for this project we are sticking to Visual Studio Code. Okay, for this module as well. Yeah, so we're going to stick to Visual Studio Code, and I will go through step by step on how to uh, create a new file and then write this Python script and import this data set. Okay, so if you feel that this is a bit too slow, because if you can already see how to do this, you can go ahead and try and complete it on your own. But if you feel you need help, you can carry on watching. All right. Okay, so in order to recreate this, I need to close this work first. Yeah, so I'm going to close Visual Studio Code totally. So this will close away Visual Studio Code. And then I want to launch up Visual Studio Code one more time. Yeah, so this is how I search for Visual Studio Code. Uh, VS Code is already installed on my computer. If you have not installed it, you can Google Visual Studio Code. It's a free software. Yeah, it's very powerful for developing code in many different areas. I've used Visual Studio Code to develop mobile apps as well using Flutter. Yeah, so and also I've also written. We also did embedded programming for the particle photon using the Arduino programming language. So Visual Studio Code is quite versatile that you can just install various extension plugins and start to write code in many different languages to achieve many different types of outputs, whether it's a mobile app or an embedded program or even running a Python script like this now. Okay, so I think enough of an introduction. So you just click on Visual Studio Code. Yeah, you should launch Visual Studio Code. And it's launching up now. All right, so I am lucky. Visual Studio Code, I'm lucky enough to get back my old project because my most recent files are always opened by VS Code automatically. So we don't want this automatic behavior. We're going to start from scratch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click File. I'm going to create a new file. Yeah. So whenever you want to create a new Python script, you just click New File. Okay, then we have a new file here. All right. And before I start writing anything, I will click Save As. Yeah. File. Save As. All right. Let's save the work first. Okay. And I want to save this on my desktop. You see this path here? Okay, this is what you call a path, yeah? This PC, desktop. Okay. So this area is my path. It's saving on my desktop. That's the path to my desktop. Okay, and then I just need to give it a name. I'm just going to call it import data. You can call it whatever you want. All right. And then under save as type, sorry, I clicked too fast. Save as type. Instead of plain text, what we want to do is we want to select Python. You see this Python here. So we are working on a Python script here. So we are going to save this as Python. And as you can see, there are so many other extensions and languages that you can work with in Visual Studio Code. Some of them that I'm familiar with is C++, C, HTML, of course, JavaScript, of course, and there's many others. Yeah, Objective C is the iOS language. Yeah, PHP is for the backend servers, and there's many others. Okay, so R is also a statistical language. similar to Python for data analysis and so on. But for this course, we're going to focus on Python, okay? So Python, and then it's called import data, and then I click save. So now if you see this, the file here is created saying import underscore data dot py. Now the extension is for Python files are .py, and you can see once I hover my mouse over, the path is given to me. Now c dot dot slash, that means that is my C drive. It's followed by the word users. All right, or can I take a screenshot of this? Let's try. Put a delay of 3 seconds and click new. Okay, I just want to take a screenshot of this so that I can explain. Okay, you see this is your C drive, right? C drive, and then the next folder that we need to go into is called users. The next folder we need to go into is called IoT lab. The next folder that we need to go into is called desktop. And the final file is stored on my desktop, right? If you remember, this is the file. Yeah, this is the FILE. Yeah, this is the file. Now, all the rest here, these are my folders, yeah? I am writing using my mouse, so please pardon me. Yeah, these are the folders, and this is the file, okay? And this is what we call an absolute path. Okay, an absolute path from the start to the end. Okay? Okay, so let's take this away. Now, the next goal is that we want to import data. So whenever we want to import data, the code is quite straightforward. You can actually copy it off if you have already created it once. Yeah, so in order to start working with pandas, we need to import pandas. So the first line is always import and then the library. Now, pandas needs to exist. Yeah, pandas needs to exist for it to be imported successfully. That means it has to be installed earlier. If it's not installed, this line will fail. Okay. Now, usually what we like to do is give it another name that we can work with. So we will use this keyword s, and then we give it a name PD. Now, I hit enter and then it autofill. Yeah, PD. Okay. Now, this code editor or IDE, because it's actually quite powerful. Yeah, this code editor has IntelliSense, so whatever words I type is trying to autofill for me. Some of the case, sometimes it's very useful, sometimes it's not. For example, I just want to type PD, but it's passing me a different function call. Yeah, pdb.setTrace. That's not my goal here. So I'm going to, whenever this happens, I can hit the escape key because I just want to use PD. Okay, if I was to do this and I hit enter, it autofills the code thinking I wanted this, yeah? Right, so PD and then hit escape. So this is one way to overcome this, we say a good problem now, okay? This feature is called IntelliSense, yeah? Okay, it's able to sense and try and intelligently predict what you want to say, but sometimes the intelligence is not that high, okay? So it's all work in progress, right? So, but of course, this is awesome already. IntelliSense is one of the best things that a person writing code could have. Yeah. Okay, so now the next thing, we have imported pandas here as PD. Now we need to use pandas and access something that pandas has. Now we use the dot notation to access the methods of pandas. All right, so PD dot, there's a method which is known as read underscore CSV. Okay, so now read underscore CSV, this is the method. All right, and within read underscore CSV, we need to tell it, you see now IntelliSense is giving us some of the things that it expects. So for example, read underscore CSV expects a lot of, you can put in a lot of things lah, okay? All right, you see this, this is like a method, you can pass it things, yeah? You can pass it this, you can pass it separator, you can pass it a delimiter, you can pass it a header, you can pass it names, you can pass it an index, you can pass it whether you want to use columns, whether you want to squeeze, whether you want to prefix. Now, there is so many different parameters that you can set in order to read this data successfully. But in our case, we're going to do the most simple thing, okay? The file path, yeah? Okay, this is required. In order to read a CSV, you need to tell what is the path or where is the file stored on your computer or online, okay? So, but we will not explore the online version. We're just going to take the file path on our local machine, okay? So, this is the file path. So, R. Now, this word R is used to say that we are passing in a raw string, okay? All right. And then now we start the file path. Now, where is my data file saved at? Well, this depends where you downloaded and saved the data file in the earliest video, yeah, or your earlier steps. So if you had gone to my web address and then you had gone to job 3 and then you click on fruits_data.csv and then you see the data here, you click on raw. I'm going faster because you would have done this earlier. And then you see this data, you right click, you save as. It'll give you the option to save your data, right? So right now I've already saved the data once, but I am going to change it. Instead, I'm going to save this in my documents, yeah? Okay, you see this fruits_data is going to be saved in my documents folder, all right? And then the type, or what's the extension, yeah? CSV, right? Comma separated values. Okay, then we click save. So right now I've saved it in my documents, okay? How do I access this file? Okay, so now my file is here. It's under C drive, users, IoT lab, documents, and this is the file, right? Okay. Yes. Okay, so this is the path. Okay, so how do we write the path here? We need to translate this, C drive, users, IoT lab, documents. So I'll go back to my code editor, C drive. C drive is always the C and the colon, then the slash. Okay, now users is the next file, right? Just now we saw this. Users is the next file. Sorry, the next folder, okay? Pardon me, the next folder. IoT lab is the next folder and documents is the next folder. IoT lab is the next folder and documents is the next folder, followed by the file itself, right? IoT lab, documents, and then fruits_data. This is the file, data.csv. Okay. So now this is the code to read the value. All right. Now, when the value is read, it needs to be stored somewhere. Okay, or when the data frame is when the data is read, it needs to be stored somewhere. This command will actually create a pandas data frame. Okay, this command will actually create a pandas data frame. DF, it stands for data frame, right? So this command will actually create, or this function call or method will create a pandas data frame. So the data will be stored in this variable, which is df. And when we want to see the data for ourselves, we will type print df. Okay, so now this data will be printed. Okay, and then we are done. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. Sorry. Now this is the code to actually print data onto the terminal, yeah, or the command prompt or whichever, yeah. In this case, we are using the terminal here. All right. So when you have this, let's say your terminal is it's not there. Some of your IDs, when you open up, this will be missing, yeah, the terminal. But not to worry. When you click play, or when you run this code, the terminal will auto appear. And you can see that my data that I downloaded just now and saved and I ran is here. So I have successfully managed to import my data.